Hey, what's up? What's going on? This is HBCU Gameday. I'm Tolly Carr. These are my friends. We got Simone Stanley. We're not going to talk over Simone today. We got Wilton Jackson in person, not in Jackson. Jackson in Atlanta. What's going on, everybody?
Yes,
What's up?
Cheers.
What's up?
Cheers to another great
We missed the Starbucks mascot.
We don't ever get tea. Miles, can we get a close-up of Simone? This chair is eating Simone
she's
up.
not doing anything for that chair.
No, get comfortable, Simone. just fall into it.
I don't want to get too
man.
comfortable. man.
Look,
She'll be asleep.
there are no more broadcast standards. Everything is just roll with the flow, and that's what you're doing. Let's look. We talk MEAC, we talk SWAC here, Tennessee State, Hampton, North Carolina A&T, right? Because we got a Division II show, so we're not trying to step on everybody. But just real quickly, Simone, Wilton, we got to give it up. Coming off her first play-by-play experience, Edward Waters, Virginia Union, heck of a game. Might have been the game of the week. Did you enjoy yourself? How was it?
Yes, I had a lot of fun. Obviously, the game was so exciting.
Because you were worried going into it.
Yes, because you made the block high. I don't know.
She was like, don't tell anybody.
Because I'm like, that's my first game. Why would my first game be the game of the week? I thought I was going to be, getting
gotta
something low key.
You thought you were going to ease in.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be able to ease into it. So yeah, obviously a lot of people were watching. What's up?
Were the streets
nice.
were the streets kind to you? Or
I
did
would
you stay out of the comments?
Everybody was nice to my face. I don't know what they're saying.
Those aren't the streets. You know what the streets are.
I think the streets more so like as far as like criticism wise wasn't focused on my game when it comes to being critical. But no, I got a lot of good feedback. I had a lot of fun. Definitely know what I need to improve on. But at the end of the day, the game was so exciting. So it was a great game for my first game. I was jumping around, taking it through there, having a good time in the booth.
All right. Most interesting name you had to pronounce, or did you have any of those?
Lumumba.
I could tell the way that rolled.
You're right.
It's simple, but like I was thinking too hard in the moment.
Right.
Big defensive lineman. But just, when the name came up at first, I'm like,
Right, I know.
I don't want to sound like I'm pronouncing it.
You look down on the paper and your heart starts to
Like
speed up a little
Right,
bit.
make sure I get it right.
Right.
Oh God. Yep, I know the feeling. All right, let's get into the MEAC here. They probably had the best schedule this week. There's only 4 SWAC games this week, but we got some pretty good ones in the MEAC, highlighted by the Battle of the Real HU.
Yes.
Hampton versus Howard. Hampton formerly of the MEAC, but that's still a big rivalry. And former rivals from the MEAC, North Carolina Central, North Carolina A&T, the Aggie Eagle Classic or Mayonnaise Bowl or whatever they call it these days. It was Duke Mayonnaise at one point. Delaware State's in action. They're taking on St. Francis. You got Norfolk State taking on Sacred Heart, and Morgan State out of conference at Central State, and South Carolina State will have their hands full with South Florida. All right, so coming off of last week's action, what was your takeaway on the MEAC weekend?
Great weekend. Obviously, the Aggies, Aggie Pride, not the MEAC anymore, but, we lumping them in there.
Yeah.
Big win over Hampton. Big statement win. Obviously, it's been a while since they got a signature win like that.
I mean, that was their first win in over a year.
Yeah, so they were saying we were petty on HBCU Gameday for the caption.
We've been called that.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, as a representative of Aggie Pride in Greensboro, North Carolina, I didn't find it petty because you're adding context and you're showing why there was so much emotion from the Aggies team. So I didn't find it petty, Steve. Anyways, big signature win, Greensboro rocking. My mom was actually at a bar out in town, and she was just saying the vibes and energy in the borough were big. So great for the Aggies. Obviously, my Delaware State Hornets.
They took care of business, taking on Bowie State from the CIAA, a game they should have won, and they did.
Yeah, and you got to win those games that you should win. But 2-0. The culture being fully shifted there at Delaware is huge. So I think it was a great weekend so far for the MEAC.
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah. But on a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah.
So when was the last time we said that?
Not in my era. Wilton, South Carolina State under the radar.
Yep.
Look, they've had some tough ones that they scheduled, obviously, but winning the ones that they should win. Are they still early? Still your team to beat in the MEAC?
Definitely still the team to beat. I mean, the champion, right? Like they're still that team, and I think that me and Simone were just talking about this briefly before the show. Like, no one's really paying attention to them. Like, everybody's thinking about what's Michael Vick doing at Norfolk State, what's Deshaun Jackson doing at Delaware State, and rightfully so. 2 new coaches, of course, but you got to beat the champion to beat the champion. And I think that as long as South Carolina State keeps rolling, I mean, like, they're still going to be there. I mean, Tennis Beer, you got to love him, and his team is playing well, so.
And as a coach, I think that's a dream. Like, he does not have to worry about his players being overconfident, reading their own social media, because there's just not a lot out there compared to
all the attention is not
Deshaun and Mike Vick.
It keeps them hungry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hungry.
With a U or no?
Oh, you?
Y'all heard the O. It keeps them hungry. Like, that's a good position if you're South Carolina State to be in.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the chalkboard, if you will. It's time to give out some grades. We're coming up on like the what do they call it? I used to forge my mama's name on it. The
Report cards?
interim. There you go. Interim reports. I'd erased that trauma from my brain. All right, the interim reports. We're coming up, about midway, 3/4 through the first quarter of the season. We'll call it. Let's just keep it. We want to keep it nice. We're not going to fail anybody today. We're just going to ask a simple question. Anybody in the MEAC getting an A for you right now for their body of work in 2025?
Yes, I'm giving an A to South Carolina State. I'm also giving an A to Delaware State. Now, I know Delaware State had that loss week 1, but given the expectations, the spotlight, everything on them, and everything they have to overcome.
There was a lot of spotlight and no expectations.
Well, the expectations because of the spotlight.
Right.
So they had a lot of pressure on them. That's what more
But pick the finish last.
Yes, pick the finish last. But, it's a lot of pressure when you have so much media attention surrounding you. So I think they've been handling the pressure very well. A lot of bright lights in Delaware now. 2-game winning streak, something that hasn't happened in a long time. And South Carolina State just looking how we expect them to look, still look like the top team in the MEAC. So I'm giving out 2 A's.
2 A's from the A. Look at that South Carolina. Go back to Simone. Look at that South Carolina State pennant back there. It's right on it. All right, I have a feeling Wilton grades a little harder. He is actually a college professor at Jackson State, so a little academia over here. Anybody getting an A in Wilton's grade book from the MEAC?
Very similar to Simone. I'll say this. I would definitely say an A for South Carolina State, just based off the fact that they're picking up where they left off last year. I think we don't see a major decline on where they are. Granted, they gave up 41 points to Bethune-Cookman, which I didn't see coming last week in that game, but I definitely would still give them an A. I do think that Delaware State deserves to have an A just based off the fact of where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
And we coming into the season, we didn't necessarily know that we would be sitting here today saying Delaware State's 2-1. We didn't think that, Caden Bennett, their quarterback, or Gillis, their running back, would be doing the exact things that they're doing right now, and it's helping them win games. And this is, if you're Delaware State, granted you don't want to get too high, too low, because it's only been, 3 weeks into the season. There's a lot of season still to go, but you can really relish this moment to say, we're doing better than what we probably thought we were.
You think, is this one of those stages where an NFL, good God, I got hair. I feel hair. It might be one of those spider webs. These spiders we got in Georgia now?
Yeah.
Having a coach like Deshaun Jackson, who has been at the highest level, where you got to stay hungry every week. You can't get, complacent. Do you think those are situations where guys like that can not get caught up and keep his guys hungry?
Can you rephrase that, please?
Deshaun Jackson, his NFL pedigree. Do you think
Yes.
that's helpful in this situation where you got some wins, right? No one. Everybody's surprised, everybody's talking about it, but his team has to stay hungry, stay focused.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a hurdle they have to overcome. That's what I was saying with they have a lot of pressure on them. They didn't have any expectations in the MEAC standings, but they have a lot of pressure on them because they have a lot of eyeballs. So I think that's a hurdle they have to overcome each week. And so far, they're clearing them.
Former high school hurdler here, Simone. She's broken all the weightlifting records at the Philadelphia Eagles tailgate. Maybe they'll put up some hurdles for you. You can really.
She's going to 5K soon.
She's on it. All right, let's transition over to the SWAC, who is in a unofficial bye week. There are only 4 games in the SWAC this week. It's like get paid last week, week before last, get those money games, get a little break. So we'll call that strategic. Wilton, I was at the Jackson State versus Tuskegee game.
Yes.
Let's do this. Our cousin D was there as well. Let's give you a quick recap of that action.
Jared Lockhart comes out as the starting quarterback for Jackson State. Right here, he gives the ball to Ahmad Miller for a nice gain. Lockhart completes his pass to his big tight end, but he was face masked. Tack on some more yards. Jackson State is now in the red zone. Lockhart takes advantage. He goes around the corner. He gets his touchdown. Jackson State goes up 7-0. Back on offense, Bill hooks up with E.J. Hall, who makes some nice moves and gets some positive yards for the Tigers. But the Jackson State defense stayed hungry, right here making a nice play, forcing a punt. Jackson State also had costly penalties, this play being one of them. Lockhart hooks up with Gardner Jr., but is holding on the play, so none of that even matters.
Lockhart's pass is complete. Jamil Gardner.
Lockhart gets outside the pocket yet again, shows that he is one of those ones, but Tuskegee still held the Tigers. Jackson State ends up punting the ball. Jackson State's Cam Salas comes up with a big hit right here, forcing yet another change of possession. Once again, the Lockhart to Gardner Jr. connection was on display. This time, it counts. Deep ball, nice catch. Jackson State, first down. After my confusion, I was able to catch Jared Lockhart going in for his second touchdown of the day. Jackson State goes up 14-0. Back on offense, Tuskegee University continues to fight. Right here, Johnny Morris with some nice moves, some nice vision, gets a nice gain. After that nice pickup, a field goal attempt was unsuccessful for the Tuskegee University Tigers. Jackson State gets the ball back. After a good pickup on the ground, that Gardner and Jared Lockhart connection came back out. Lockhart hits him with a dart, another touchdown for Jackson State. They're up 21-0. Golden Tiger Johnny Morris with yet another good run today. Tuskegee was not backing down, regardless to the score. After a turnover on downs, Jackson State comes back out, pounds the ground. Ahmad Miller does what Ahmad Miller does.
Ahmad Miller carries.
Shortly after that, Quincy Crawford, freshman from Birmingham, Alabama, he picks off Jared Lockhart's pass. Tuskegee gets the ball back, but the field position is not the best. Jackson State forces Tuskegee to get a safety. Backup quarterback Parker Stouffer ran in for one more yard and one more touchdown to give the Jackson State University the final score of 30-0. Jackson State beats Tuskegee in the W.C. Gordon Classic in the 2025 edition. Until next time, I'm your favorite cousin from Mississippi, D. James, and you're watching HBCU Gameday.
All right, so I was on the call there along with Mo Carter. Shout out Mo. Quarterback comes in, gets the start. We had no idea until just before the game, and man, they got a couple of good quarterbacks there in Jackson.
Oh, absolutely. Like, if you've never seen Jared Lockhart throw the ball or haven't been to a Jackson State football practice, you wouldn't necessarily know that. But they've been here. I've been hearing for like some time now since he got to the program that he could really spin it. And I think on Saturday you got a chance to really see what he can do against. Granted, it was Tuskegee, but at the same time you got a chance to see what he could do in the offense when he's leading the offense down the field and making plays and things of that nature. So when I think the more surprising thing of that aspect was that Coach Taylor is not one to really make a decision right then, like split second, like, oh, we're not going with Jacoby Morgan, we're going to go with Jared Lockhart. But on the other side of that too, I've also seen him in situations where if it's not necessarily, I guess you would say this, a lower tier opponent, that you'll give some other players opportunities to play that otherwise wouldn't necessarily play.
I think in that game they had 10 starters they didn't dress.
Exactly.
Coming off the Southern Miss.
Absolutely, because you want to save some of them for when you get into conference play and some other bigger games. So I think it bodes you well because, again, Coach Taylor's one of those coaches where he builds his team for December. He wants to have depth. And so you have depth, but if they don't have experience, they don't know what these moments feel like. So you take a Jared Lockhart, you get him in at quarterback, get him some in-game reps, lead them to a win, of course. Not only a win, but a shutout. So that's good for you to pick up another win. And it only adds to further preparation for where things could be in the event that someone like Jacoby Morgan can't go.
The kid looked good.
Yeah.
I looked down Simone. I didn't get overly excited, but at one point about the third quarter, I'm looking down 70% completion rate.
Yeah.
Running the ball, putting the ball on the target. I thought it for a split second. I said, what in the Shedeur Sanders is going on here? But I didn't jump the gun. I mean, it was Tuskegee. But when you look down and you see 70%,
Right.
Yeah.
and putting the ball on the money. And the thing I loved about him, Wilton, he didn't look to run. He looked for all of his reads in the pocket. But then when it was either a design run or he had to run, very effective.
Yeah. No, like that's what you're going to get from Jared Lockhart. And I think a lot of it speaks to the coaching and planning for the quarterbacks at Jackson State, which goes a lot into what TC Taylor does and then what Coach Kirk does with their quarterbacks. And I think that when you get a Lockhart, he's not scared to put the ball downfield. Sometimes we've seen where, a quarterback like Jacoby Morgan, he can be a little bit timid and
No, the coaches want Morgan to look more downfield. They want more out of the vertical passing game with him.
Absolutely. And I think that, you would like to think that as the season goes on, you will get a chance to see a little bit more of that. But if he's not able to do that, then, of course, you know that you have a backup that can do that.
So that's a good problem to have.
Right.
You have the SWAC preseason offensive player of the year as your starter. Your backup looks damn good. That's not a bad problem to have. Not a bad problem to have. Simone, we had some SIAC SWAC matchups that were a little bit better. We kind of had the feeling, we talked about it last week, that Albany State and FAMU would be good. We talked about the implications of what happened if FAMU didn't win. They did win. It was.
You be setting me up with them clips.
Well, you need to ask them where the streets turn.
You be setting up on them clips.
I'm getting there. Now, I did put my foot in my mouth. I said Grambling was going to beat the brakes off Kentucky State, and Grambling almost lost.
Right.
Yeah.
What were the streets saying? Albany State, FAMU. Did it live up to the hype in the streets last week?
Yeah, they were satisfied. The Bragg Memorial was rocking. So the FAMU fans were just really excited to be at home. Great turnout for that game.
I can't take
So
them serious
FAMU
right
fans, they're excited right now. They're satisfied. Obviously, you have to keep the momentum going. It is a Division II opponent, very affordable opponent though.
But that's the best team out of this side.
Yeah, and we know that these, again, like when we have these Division II, Division I HBCU matchups, these D2 teams, they biting out extra hard on their mouthpiece. They play up to the competition, which we saw this week. So very good competition in Albany State this week, and FAMU rose to the occasion. So their fans are very happy. One of the best environments in HBCU football at Bragg.
Wilton, crisis averted for Grambling. There was a call, forward progress. There's always those type of adventures.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
What would it be like this week if Grambling would have lost that game?
Oh, man. Like how it is, like if Southern would have lost to Mississippi Valley, if Jackson State would have lost to Tuskegee, for the lack of better words, what in the what is going on with our football team? I mean, fans would have been chirping. Like, how last week you guys sat here, and you said Simone be in them streets. Like, it would have been like, what are the streets saying about Grambling? Because this is not what was supposed to happen. And to your point, what you said, we all thought, I know personally, I thought that like they were going to get a definitive win against Kentucky State.
I mean, Kentucky State taking L's in the SIAC.
Exactly. So let that sit in, right? And so I'm thinking to myself, surely they're not going to lose this game. But if, to your point, if they would have lost this game, it would have been really, really bad.
Is there reason for concern that the game was even as close as it was?
Absolutely. Right now. But granted, and I say that, but I also like to say this too, and you know this as well. It's the beginning of the year. Every team, every coach in America is still trying to figure out the best version of what their team looks like. And you would like to hope that by week 2, week 3, week 4, that you have all the kinks figured out. Sometimes it takes teams a little longer. However, when you're going against a lower tier opponent, like a Kentucky State or some other schools, you walk into these type of games with a certain level of swagger, thinking like, we are prepared, we know what to do, we're gonna play well, we should beat this team. But to Simone's point, when you have these smaller teams coming in, they have nothing to lose. They have everything to play for and nothing to lose. So you're telling yourself, okay, we need to play our best ball, because if we lose, what does that mean for us at this very moment in time when we get into conference play? When we know that we're gonna have a lot more difficult competition to deal with.
Simone, another week, another healthy Andrew Body, another good performance. I'm loving the good fortune of what the fans are able to see, and that's a healthy Andrew Body week in and week out. And he's been the difference for Alabama State. And he's got some good wide receivers, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know the past season and a half, it's just been Alabama State just needing that quarterback. And, you know, they had the quarterback, but he was hurt. So we all knew what Andrew Body could do. We knew how big it was when he transferred to Alabama State University, what type of impact he was going to have on that program. Defense already had playmakers on both sides of the ball, but just needed that sure guy as their signal caller. So I know the fans have been patient, been waiting on this Andrew Body experience. So it's just good to know that, you know, he came back fully healthy and is making up for that lost time.
Wilson, I've always said Alabama State, good in football is good for the SWAC because they have great facilities.
Yep.
You want teams that have a great canvas, if they're an artist, to have good paint.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Great facility there. Great town in Montgomery. Everything is there.
Yep.
They just need a winner.
Yep. I think that you're seeing that. And I think that as long as Andrew Body, this team goes as far, specifically on the offensive side of the ball, this team goes as far as Andrew Body takes them. And I think that, to Simone's point, we're finally getting a chance to see the most healthiest Andrew Body that we've seen. Of course, he had moments in spurts where he looked healthy at Texas Southern. Obviously, last year he was banged up with the injury. But I think that not only are we seeing him healthy, but like his decision-making. Like the ability for him to put the ball downfield, literally putting it where only his receivers can catch it, and really just taking a full command of this Alabama State offense. Because here's the thing. So many times last year, I think the key thing for Alabama State was they just did not have consistency on offense. They had a shutdown lethal. I mean, like, you did not want to face the Hornets defense at all last year. And if they had this version of an offense last year, this would have been...
Oh, that's Celebration Bowl team.
Yeah, or at least...
Potentially.
Competing for it, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so this week we got Edward Waters at Bethune-Cookman, which is going to set up a pretty interesting storyline, Simone. Brian Jenkins is going back to a place that he used to coach, had a lot of success. Brian Jenkins is probably created the most energy at the head coaching position, just organically. You know, he doesn't come in with the built-in intangibles like Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick, but for a guy who wasn't the head coach when fall camp started, the head coach leaves to go to Tennessee State. Yeah. Jenkins takes him to the beach. People get excited about the video, and they followed up that excitement by winning. That's going to be a big homecoming for him at Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, something was in that sand on that beach. But no, just like you were talking about with Alabama State, like with Edward Waters, they've invested so much into their facilities. Even just earlier today, they announced the new basketball locker room. But they invested so much in their field. They invested so much in athletics. And that just helped so much, like Brian Jenkins was saying, when it comes to recruiting and getting guys bought in, because they know from the top to the bottom, everyone is investing in their athletics. But it's been incredible what Coach Jenkins has been able to do in such a short amount of time. Obviously, he was on the staff, but to step up in the head coaching position in June with the season starting in August is crazy. He had to, get the guys, to still believe in what was going on this season, had to build his own coaching staff, bring in his own OC. And now Edward Waters 3-0 for the first time since, forever. So my stat was they were 2-0 for the first time since 2004. Yeah. We would have to go call Vaughn Wilson and ask how long it's been since they've been 3-0 because that hasn't been in the book. But taking out Virginia Union, a nationally ranked team in D2 football, the coaches were talking from Edward Waters about how big it was to even play against Virginia Union in a classic. Yeah. So to beat Virginia Union, we know how big that was for the program, super signature win. So they go in this game against Bethune-Cookman in a great position to be able to get this upset against Bethune-Cookman. Huge. 4-time champ Coach Jenkins was at Bethune-Cookman. And he still has so much love there. So this is really just going to be a Brian Jenkins give him love fest weekend.
Let's go ahead and say the thing that everybody's thinking.
Wait.
If they beat Bethune-Cookman,
oh boy,
there's going to be somebody that say, Brian, don't leave. Just
stay here.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's the name. It's like, Coach Vic, Coach Deshaun Jackson, and Brian Jenkins are the names around HBCU football right now when it comes to the coaches. And like you said, without the celebrity behind it, it's amazing to see what he's been able to do. But he's going to be a hot name, boy, because once we hit October, some coaches gonna be fired.
Oh, it's already started. People were trying to link Mike Vick to. He had to shoot down Virginia Tech rumors already. He's only 3 games
weeks into the season.
But that's crazy to me because it's like, dang,
no, this is expected.
But it's still early, and we still try to fill out Coach Vick as a coach. So it's a little surprise. Like with Coach Sanders, like he was rolling, winning.
Things change when you win.
Yeah, so that's why I'm just a little surprised because Norfolk is still like finding their footing. So I'm just surprised that, the calls are coming in already.
Yeah. Speaking of calls coming in, I got some little bit of breaking news right here. I'll share with you. You can't tell what it is.
Are you allowed to share that?
Oh, am I? You know what it is because you see it on your computer too, don't you?
Coming from where? Slack?
Yeah.
Is it from Vaughn?
No, it's from Steve. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. All right, let's give out some grades here. We'll start with Wilton. Let's go back to the chalkboard. Professor Jackson, anybody in the SWAC getting an A from you early in the year?
SWAC, A, Alabama State. I'm going to give them an A. Obviously, they have that loss to University of Alabama, Birmingham, but they played well. And I think that, again, as I've said before, as long as Andrew Body continues to play well, Alabama State 9 times out of 10 is going to play well, so I give them an A. I even will still give Jackson State an A. Lost to Southern Miss, but it was a tight game. That score was not fully indicative of how close that game was. But there are still some things to improve for Jackson State. I would give A&M, I know we're not on a plus minus, but I would still even give them an A, mainly due to the fact that they just came off of a tight win against a Tennessee State team. Obviously, Coach Shade and Reggie Barlow at Tennessee State, 2 first-year coaches they're leading those 2 programs. I would give them an A. FAMU, they don't get an A from me right now. Mississippi Valley, Bethune-Cookman don't. In the West, I don't really see anybody getting an A right now. I would say maybe Prairie View gets a B. Grambling, I would have given them a high B at first, compared to what we saw last week against Kentucky State.
I mean, you look at that. Grambling is 2-1.
Yeah.
But that Kentucky State game just leaves. It should be 2-1 question mark.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, seriously. That's exactly where I stand.
Yeah, I'm going with Alabama State and Jackson State, 2 teams that get an A for me. 2 teams that look complete so far through the early part of the season. Their wins, all very convincing. Look like they have the ingredients to, make a trip possibly to the Celebration Bowl. But it's tough to give out an A to anybody else.
I can't wait to see Jackson play again. I want to see what they do.
Is that your next? What's your next game?
I have Alabama, A&M, and Lane this weekend.
Yeah.
Me and Mo on the call in the Rocket City.
Is that SWAC TV?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we'll be on SWAC TV. You can check us out. All you got to do is download that. It's free. While you're downloading stuff, download the HBCU Gameday app. One of the things that you will see on the app is an article about what we're going to give you right here. Y'all want to talk a little bands?
Yes.
Y'all wanna talk a little bands?
Yes,
So,
we do.
you know, the band of the year, they do this every year, ESPN events, and they have the big championship at the Celebration Bowl that whole weekend. So these are the first rankings of the year? Have to be the first.
First.
Yeah, these are the first.
All
First
right.
official ranking.
All right, first official ranking. So, Division II, top overall scores for September. We'll just do the top three. We're not going to run through everybody. Virginia State, number 1. Fayetteville State, number 2. Albany State, number 3.
Okay. I like that Albany State performance at FAMU this weekend.
I heard some people talking about it. I didn't get a chance to go back and like watch it online, but I definitely heard some people talking about that it was pretty good. And considering they were playing, you know, their band was going up against FAMU
Yeah.
at Bragg.
Going
so.
band for band.
Yeah,
Go band for
yeah,
band.
yeah.
All right, Miles College, you're number 4. I know some people might be wondering where that mighty brass band is. They're number 4. So they base this stuff on things that, you know, I can't speak to because
Right.
I'm not a musician, but things like musicality, drill design,
Technique.
marching maneuver, percussion, drum majors, you know, just read the article, okay? All right, we got the D1. All right, let's take a
I
look
already
at
know
this.
who should be in the top 3.
All right, have you you all haven't seen this?
I have not seen
Okay, let's
this.
have a little fun here.
Okay.
Number 1 team in Division 1.
You should start bottom up. Come on, Tali. Why would you start with number 1?
I was going to ask you guys.
Who I think it is?
Yeah.
It better be my blue and gold munching machine.
Okay.
Who I think it is
Yeah.
probably going to be the blue and gold. I don't necessarily fully agree. But, you know, that's just my
And
thoughts.
Okay, so let's start at
'Cause we
number.
can go band for band.
Let's start at number 5. Let's start at number 5 and work our way up, and then we'll see once we get to number 1 who was right here. All right, let me do. There's no numbers on this spreadsheet.
Well, we both
1,
went.
2,
He just
3,
hated.
4, 5. All right, coming in at number 5, Norfolk State University.
Oh, I'm safe.
Behold,
Still safe. I'm still safe.
number 4, Marching 100, FAMU.
I'm still safe.
FAMU, you're going to love this. Coming in at number 3, Bethune-Cookman University.
wow.
They got Bethune-Cookman ahead of FAMU in the poll.
boy.
So blue and gold marching machine is top 2 and not 2.
Number
on.
2, I see some blue in number 2, but it is the blue from Baton Rouge Southern University. Number 2, Human Jukebox. And number 1, North Carolina A&T State University, blue and gold marching machine. Wilton, Professor Wilton, Professor Jackson, you predicted A&T would be number 1, but you said you don't necessarily agree with it.
I mean, as a person who's has a background more in the SWAC, I guess I always lean more to a SWAC school, and it's no discredit. North
So
Carolina
bias.
A&T. Yeah, there is some bias there.
Southwest bias.
I'll be honest there, but I do respect North Carolina A&T as a band. Like they have a exceptional band. Not even just from the sound that they have, like their drills, the drum line, of course, goes without saying. Everything is good. I just feel like I'm just a little bit more biased to a SWAC school, but I'm not mad at the fact that they are number 1. I'm certainly not surprised that they're number 1.
All right, top 5. I did not mention the Sonic Boom. Where do you think they should be? Let's say where they are.
Personally, I would have thought they would have been top 5, top 6. But if they're not in the top 5, which you listed the top 5. I would say maybe 6 or 7.
We'll try on number 8.
Oh wow! So
We'll try on number 8.
they're low. Okay,
So we have the Ocean of Soul
okay, that's not a
and
surprise.
Prairie View A&M ahead of the Sonic Boom.
Okay.
Maybe a little surprised by Prairie View being ahead of them. Texas Southern, Ocean of Soul, not as much. Like people, and the thing is, people will sleep on the fact that Texas Southern's band is like legitimately like good.
I
to
love
me.
that name, Ocean of Soul.
Oh,
Yeah,
Texas
yeah.
Southern, again, things have changed over the years. As a person who was once in the band in high school, we used to look up to, like, of course it was Jackson State, but then there was Texas Southern, there was FAMU, there was Bethune-Cookman, Alabama State. to know that this order, and the beauty of this is that this is right now at the end of September. Things could change in October. You know, bands change their field shows throughout, you know, each week or every other week. You have different auxiliaries changing their different things of that nature. The drum majors, all those things get graded in this particular process. So I don't expect, and again, might be my bias here, of the one thing that I am biased about, I don't expect Jackson State to stay at number 7 or 8. I expect them to
I
be.
said 8. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
8.
I don't expect them to stay at number 8. I would definitely at some point throughout this season see them in the top 5. Southern being in the top 5, I'm not mad about that either. Like, I mean, again, I know my Jackson State fans will be mad at me about.
So
this.
we all saw the Human Jukebox at MEAC SWAC.
Yeah.
I was digging the new edition.
Oh, yeah.
That
No,
new
they
edition set
sound
was-
they sound great. Like I'm not a hater. Like they sound great. But I just think again I'm more biased this way.
Oh.
All right, so A&T led the scoring in musicality. Musicality. They were second in pictures, drill, design, marching, and maneuvers. Again, don't ask me to explain any of this stuff. They were number 1 in percussion,
Yeah, no,
number
percussion
1
section
in
is
drum majors,
elite.
number 2 in auxiliaries.
Top of the chart.
That's
baby.
like the flag girls, right?
Yeah.
Top of the chart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so A&T scored very high.
Yeah.
Very, very high. So when we write about that, remember that juxtaposed to the pettiness when we said they won their first game in over a year.
And I'm trying to see that band live at homecoming in my hometown.
G-Ho.
If Steve
Stephen
Shout
J.
out to Steve.
don't play
man.
with me,
You're fighting for credentials
he
on
should
air.
be at Winston-Salem State anyway. They play that day.
Oh, he'll probably go to both.
Yeah.
They both play at the same time.
Oh, he'll find a
He'll
way.
find a way.
They're killing me. So.
Are you capping for credentials? Or are you taking an internal conversation and taking it to the streets?
Yes, y'all are getting a behind the scenes look. Don't y'all want to see me at the tailgate, vlogging it? You know what I'm saying? Interviewing some on the mini mic.
Yes, I do. I do.
And I'll take my dad out there, who is me times a million on personality, plus a former Aggie. So it'll be great content.
Oh, your dad is like that?
Where do you think I came from? He's me on a million.
I would assume you had your mom's personality.
I got both. But when it's time for the camera to come on, that man is a performer.
Really?
He has his own YouTube channel.
Really?
RVing with Tim.
That explains a
so
lot.
that's how you're gonna. Okay.
Yes, we're collabing.
Okay.
Simone with the Sports and RVing with Tim.
All right. So you're going to in the future, later this year, you're going to the Norfolk State, Delaware State game, and you got a whole RV
Trip.
and his dad on the. Okay. All right.
That's gonna be
all
dope.
right. See, I thought Simone had pulled a sponsor. Had a little,
I'm trying to get there.
She working for it.
So that next year we can have a sponsored HBCU Gameday tailgate experience.
Look,
But y'all gotta work with.
I could have used that RV because I drove to Jackson last weekend, and I contemplated driving back home. I spent more time I spent 3 times the length in the car than I did at the game.
and that drive
That was the same for me. I had to go to Jacksonville, Florida,
that drive is boring.
and then drive back.
Yes. And in Alabama, let me tell you about Alabama. Is it a Commonwealth? What is Alabama? A state, Commonwealth, whatever. I mean, I know it's a state, but some people like to say Commonwealth. Whatever. Those policemen in Alabama
You was
will
scared.
line up 4 in a row. You guys don't remember the show Chips, but
My
on the
folks have watched
motorcycle,
it, yeah.
on the highway, like every 10 miles, they line waiting.
You
waiting,
was scared.
waiting for you.
Especially on a football Saturday.
No, I wasn't
sure.
scared. I just said.
See, that's why I'm not going. I'm not going through there.
I said
no
the
more.
cruise control. The speed limit was 70. I was at 70 over the dot. You're not pulling me over in Tuscaloosa and
Right.
Cuba and
Yeah,
all these
those
other
small towns.
No, not today. Not today. Might find myself at an ice facility. Nope.
Didn't do that.
Can't do it. Can't do it. All right. What are you looking forward to most this weekend?
I'm looking forward to Edward Waters, seeing what they do, how they follow up on that big win last week against Virginia Union. Obviously, looking out for Delaware State, Norfolk State, and the Aggies.
Yeah, Aggie Eagle. It's not the same to me when it's not. It was always best at the end of the season.
Yeah, they
But
got the
can't-
BTA last year, so it's time to strike back, bite back.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to this weekend, Wilton?
You know, it's slim pickings in the SWAC this week, so I think other
Only
than
four games,
other than like Edward Waters and Bethune-Cookman, and I think more so just to see what Edward Waters does against Bethune-Cookman. Now, that's not to say, I'm thinking that they're going to go in and get an upset against Bethune-Cookman.
I mean, Clark Atlanta.
Yeah,
that walk-off field goal.
Yeah, I remember. I remember watching it very vividly. I think that Coach Jenkins really has these guys dialed in. They're locked in. Noah Biden is basically playing his tail off. He had like 305 yards and a touchdown last week.
Former Grambling quarterback.
Yep. And I just think that I just want to see at least a decent competition between the two. But I think more so than anything, it goes without saying, MEAC, seeing Hampton and Howard. I think the battle for the real HU. Who takes that game? And I got a chance to watch Hampton against Jackson State. This is, of course, as no surprise, going to be a very physical Hampton team. This is a Howard team that they're still rebuilding from like previous years. I mean, again, people may forget just a couple years ago they were competing in the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah.
And so now they're revamped. This will be a big test to see where they really stand.
Can I ask you guys a bonus question, and we'll get out of here? But I was listening to the radio. We're here in Atlanta. Last weekend there was a big win. Georgia Tech beat Clemson. Stormed the field. I was listening to the radio this morning, listening to the athletic director while I was dropping the kids off. Stormed the field, tore the goalpost down. They took the goalpost to the chancellor's house and dumped it in the pool. Thing. They got T-shirts made about it. I mean, it's just a grand celebration.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, what would happen if any HBCU had a game and they tore down the goalpost and dropped it off at the chancellor's house?
Ooh.
I smell
It'd
fines.
be trouble, suspensions, fines,
all caps.
scholarships revoked, cleaning out the pool.
You went from a full scholarship to a half scholarship. You don't get your NIL money is
putting the goalpost, digging a hole to put the goalpost back in.
These were the
They
students.
would have to put the goalpost manually back in themselves.
Why is that? My entire life, I'm 50 years old, soon to be 51. I've seen colleges throughout my life. We celebrate. They go tear the goalpost down. They walk through the city with the goalpost. And at our schools, we would never.
Because it's a different level of discipline.
Yep.
Certain melanin levels of people have. You know what I'm saying? Not even just in athletics. They do all kinds of wild stuff we wouldn't even dare do. Yeah. It's called discipline and respect that we have for our households and stuff.
Is it that, or is it that we wouldn't be allowed to?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I also think it comes with discipline, acting like you've been somewhere before. You know what I'm saying? They be doing all kinds of wild stuff, not even just in athletics, that we wouldn't do, our people wouldn't do, because we got a little bit more couth.
But our homecomings in North Carolina have to shut down at 8 o'clock. Okay. All right, what were you going to say, Wilton?
Now, again, there's certain lines that we wouldn't cross in certain scenarios. Going to a chancellor's house, that's crossing a line of disrespect.
We would never do that.
We wouldn't do that. It might be some wilding on the field or wilding amongst players themselves.
Maybe even a couple streets around the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to take it as far as going to the chancellor's house?
No, we're not doing that.
No.
And I think a lot of it, too, is you think about the fact that because, our institutions are HBCUs, you're thinking like, okay, well, we don't have the same type of money, loan dollars to go and replace.
We can't afford another goalpost.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I said they would have to put it back in themselves.
No. And that sounds so far-fetched and crazy to say, but really, like, of course, I don't think necessarily the players would have to do that, but you're thinking, like, coach may have to come and tell his players, like, we tore this goalpost down, but now we really do have to, like, put it back. Like, imagine a coach telling you that, and I'm just throwing out schools.
But again, these were this was members of the student body, not the football players. But, these are students. Storm the field, tear it down. Like, that was.
Again, for me, I think it goes back to finances, too, though. Like, we don't think about it like this. How many times do we hear in semesters at colleges where students aren't necessarily getting their refunds and stuff on time, right? That's a given thing every single school year. You go out here and you at Albany State, Clark, Atlanta, Morehouse, Jackson State, wherever, and you going down tearing down a a goalpost, and they telling you like, oh well, you know, y'all gonna have to put it back. We ain't even got our refunds back. I mean, I'm just saying, like seriously though, tell me I'm lying.
He ain't lying. How's that meme go? He ain't lying. I'll bring the goalpost back as soon as you bring me my refund.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Some collateral.
Let's just keep it real.
It just, it's always been a thought of mine. I just know it will never happen. But it's just kind of wild how on one campus it's accepted, celebrated, expected, happy to pay the fine. Just go get another goalpost out of the closet and put it back up, however that works.
Yeah, we'll be ready for practice on Monday.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
back
Team
at the
meeting
ranch.
on Sunday.
or just envision a goalpost. Just kick it straight. Like you'll be good.
They would.
Yeah, no, for real.
I'm not laughing. I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm maybe not laughing for the reasons you think that I'm laughing. But yeah. Sometimes you got to laugh through the pain.
Yep.
All right, that was our bonus question. It's been fun, guys.
Yeah.
When are you on the call again?
So this weekend, you can find me on Georgia Tech Radio.
Fun
Maybe.
times.
Maybe.
Maybe a goalpost
Right.
take it down.
Maybe. I don't know. You go in there, they ain't got no home trainer. You might be back here on
No, I
HBCU
said
Gameday.
the
She'll be the one
whole-
going down and running to take it
The
down.
whole. You be thinking about your mama watching you.
Nah,
And you be
facts.
like, my mama seen this. That's who you be scared of, not even the school. You be scared of your mama finding
Your
out.
parents, period.
Exactly. But yeah, radio sideline this weekend.
We hope.
Oh my God.
We
Let's hope no goalposts get taken down for Georgia Tech this
And
weekend.
if they
Yeah.
do,
Oh,
don't
God.
ask Simone for her commentary.
Tune back in.
they playing Temple, so I doubt they gonna storm the field for that.
Yeah.
All right.
But you never know.
Well, congratulations. Well, however long it lasts, congratulations.
Right.
I'm just a filler this week.
Oh, my God. I love these two. I love them. All right. That's it, man. We're out. Nothing else to say. We'll see you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here at HBCU Game Day.